Alright. See how we have special tactics for patching? You know, everybody else is still patching. I'm almost done. Special tactics here. I should like post a video on how to get rid of the initializing bug with the launcher. I think a lot of people don't know how to fix that. I should have recorded it today because I had a brilliant example where it was going from like 0.1 megabytes per second to like instantly done. But yeah, so we're already done installing the patch now. Nice. That was fast. Shouldn't have said it. Shouldn't have said it. Now he's going down like to nothing for the last 300 megabytes or whatever. But you never want to hit play now. If you hit play without this being complete, like every loading screen is gonna be like an hour. So never hit play if it's not 100%. Hey, how are you doing? So let's see. They're really gonna go this freaking slow now till the very end. Oh, now he's speeding up. Nice one. Good old European servers. Very, very fast. There you go. No. 100% is 100%. That's good. Normally. The biggest problem is getting it to download because you have this initializing, which just is horribly slow, and you basically have to go into your task manager and keep closing the process for what's it called, a Battle.net update agent, then hit pause and resume again. You do it like 3 or 4 times, and then sometime all of a sudden it jumps to like 100%. Has been in this game for like the last 6 months, I believe. Should you give it another go after S5? No, honestly, no. Nothing changed. So if you didn't like it in S5, you're not gonna like it now. Same story, nothing changed, period. Exactly the same game, no changes whatsoever. But yeah, like how is it like going to like literally no speed in the last megabyte or whatever? But yeah, so I have the build already prepared. So Incinerate buff gets a pretty huge buff to the aspect of overheating. And to the combustion key passive. So let's see how that does. If this finishes eventually at some point. Who knows? We're close. But yeah, so we have like more than a 400% buff, and it really depends on if it's burning damage or damage to burning enemies, because that's technically 2 different stats. And with Blizzard tooltips, you never freaking know what they actually mean and how they actually work. I really hope the tooltip shows the bonus damage, but we will find out very soon here. Yeah, Hydra, you know, even though Hydra does 50% more damage, doesn't matter. 50% more of nothing is still nothing. It's gonna be great leveling. You should stick to Roblox, yeah. Definitely the better game there. Wow. I was thinking it would be done I was downloading it like 18 megabytes per second, and now like on the last whatever, it just like went down to shit. But yeah, so here's the assumed Incinerate build here. We're just gonna play only fire skills on our bar. Maybe teleport, maybe not even. Maybe I'm gonna remove teleport enchantment for fireball enchantment even. No, I'm not gonna reset the launcher. There it is. Wonderful. Wasn't it supposed to be version 2.1? Huh. Oh no, 2.1 was the PTR, right? So let's see what happens. This is gonna be so exciting. That I actually can. I think. I don't know. I guess. In this. Alright, claim the boost, blah blah blah. Crimson Reaper. I don't care. So let's see if the aspect actually changed. Yeah, so here's the flamethrower, but that's not the one I want. I want the overheating one. So let's see if they screwed up. We're gonna go for overheating on our twinner weapon. Overheating. So 94% extra damage, right? So this is basically gonna be 188% X for Incinerate, right? The new aspect. This is gonna be 100, well, so this is just gonna be a 28% bonus damage. I'm not sure if you want to have this here or not. And then there's two other aspects. I think one is conflagration. So let's see.
Let me show you.
Yeah. So I don't know which one is the better one. This one gives you basically 43% burning damage. And random explosion, which probably doesn't do anything. I don't know. And the other one would be... Oh wait, we need the flamethrower. Now I have the flamethrower. So the other one was... this one here. So this gives a 30% plus a 25% if it's not healthy. So I'm not sure which one of these is going to be better, honestly. I'm also not going to be sure if the... if you want to play the flamethrower's aspect on your amulet or not. So this is a 15% loss, basically, right? And this is a 30% win, so this is like 40%. I'm not sure if this is worth it or not. I guess we just gotta try. But I'm just gonna put the I think I'm gonna put the conflagration on first and see what happens. So yeah, then we have the new key passive now, which is combustion. And there you go. Okay, so obviously it doesn't show the bonus. Why would Blizzard be capable of designing a goddamn tooltip which shows you the freaking reality? Obviously, no, right? So it shows you 60%, so it obviously doesn't show the 25% X of your damage to burning enemies bonus. So now here's the problem, right? So this says of your damage to burning enemies. So my expectation here is, right, and I already spec my Paragon, that this is damage to burning enemies, right? Because that's what it says. But, you know, maybe it's not. Maybe it's if you use, like, Torch, this increases burning damage. Right? So if that is going to be true, unfortunately I only have, like, a level 1 Torch. I don't know if I can even place this somewhere. I might have to level up this goddamn glyph. But yeah, it looks like it doesn't work on that. So let's just put the Pyromaniac back. So maybe it's the tooltip. I don't know, because I cannot literally equip anything which does bonus burning damage. Because the stat bonus burning damage does not exist other than on the torch glyph. Right? So there's no stat burning damage. There's just the stat damage to burning enemies, which is what it says. But the tooltip doesn't show it, so my assumption is this needs burning enemies. And I don't know if I have any... Yeah, probably I just have to quickly level up my goddamn torch glyph here, but... You know, let's just do like a random 65 here, because... Well, I have to actually do my skill tree. This is freaking annoying, but this was kind of my suspicion here, that this build is not gonna work because of this torch glyph story here. But we will see. That... Right, so we do this. This. Did have the wrong amulet and everything, but you know, it doesn't matter at this point. I really hope it's just a tooltip bug, because otherwise Blizzard is just, again, completely screwing up. What else do we need? I think I had one more point in whatever. It doesn't even matter at this point, honestly. So let's just get for... Just get this one. So I just want to... Damn, forgot the skills. Let's see if this shows anything else now. So this... okay. So now it changed the bonus to 82.5%. So I don't know... so it says an additional 25% X of your damage to burning enemies bonus. So I literally have 500% damage to burning enemies bonus. So let me just change my skills. The surprise in Kmart. I don't know. I think it's just Blizzard classic screw up. It just probably is just the wrong tooltip, like always. So let's do Firewall Enchant. I wanted to try, and let's do Hydra. Let's do. Damn, I don't even have teleport I can use. So wait, what else do we have? Familiar. Teleport. What's the last spot for? Incinerate Hydra? I don't even need this. What do I put here? Just put Firewall there for whatever. So wait, now it shows 60%. So it shows 60% in town for whatever reason. Let's just go to K-Town here. So either it's just completely bullshit what they put there and it's just not working, the tooltip is bugged, because I don't have any bonus burning damage. So I don't know where it would come from, because I don't think that stat exists. So we just have damage versus burning, right? That's supposed to be 25% of that, so I would assume this would be 125% X. That's what I would think. Apparently it's not. So it's probably just a bug with some multiplier, because I don't have any burning damage. And I also don't have burning damage on any of my items here. Maybe it's damage over time. Just enchant my weapon. By the way, best quality of life change comes now, which is for me irrelevant, but enchanting. So you can now Basically, no change is the default. Very good deal. So now we have damage over time. Check it again. You just didn't saw it. What did I see? The damage to burning. I don't have burning damage. So there's damage with fire, damage with water, damage with burning. Okay, so this is the default burning damage, which is probably coming from... I don't even freaking know. Where does this tooltip come from? 475.5. I guess this is bonus damage to burning. So there's damage versus burning and damage with burning. So I think damage with burning is probably the fire damage then, I would assume. So maybe it's pure fire damage which is boosting that stat. I really don't know. So let's just see if this tooltip changes if I put on more fire damage, right? So see, the tooltip now says 82.5%. So if I remove this with 163 fire damage, it says 82.5%. So fire damage can't be affecting it. So let's try some burning damage here. So let's remove a Glyph here, remove Pyromaniac here for 109 burning damage. So now we are at 82.5 current bonus. So whatever this is, it's just not freaking working. I mean, either it's the tooltip or whatever, right? We're never gonna find out. It's just ridiculous that Blizzard is not capable of fixing a tooltip. But let's see how much damage we can actually do here. Get some damage numbers up here. Show normal damage. Get a boss training dummy. So this is 30 millions, 40 millions, 50 millions. That's basically nothing. So that's honestly not more than it would be doing before. I mean, I don't have the proper amulet right now, but like this is basically nothing, right? So I assume either the combustion bus. So let's just see. Like it stacks up to. Let's just keep this running and see the ticks. The higher ticks is like 25 million now, right? 24.8. So now let's remove combustion here. Pretty sure it's just not gonna work at all. So we're just gonna remove 80% now, right? 80% gun. Let's see. Okay, so that kind of makes sense, right? So we had 24 million. And now we have 8 million, right? 10 million. So 10 million and 80%. Doesn't make sense. I had 50 million whiz. No, I had 25 whiz. That doesn't even make any sense. The numbers don't make sense at all. Hey, oh, I think it's snapshotting. Okay, so this is the higher numbers. 19 million. How did I just had way more, right? I mean, these are not vulnerable, obviously. I'm losing a lot of damage. So now I have 90 million? What? 20 million? Close range? So, at close range, I do significantly more damage. For whatever reason. I think this is the... Wait. So, if I don't hit these, that's my passive, right? So that does 12 million, my passive burning damage here. Okay, I think it's the triple beam. It's a shotgunning. So if I put everything on here, I can reach kind of like 100 million ticks, 180 million ticks. Yeah, I think this key passive is not working, or so something here is probably not working properly. It's either gonna be... Well, obviously this amulet does no damage, right? So, let me just see if I have a better one. So this one is better. Enough Flames, I can use this one. This has Enough Flames Glass Cannon. This is probably one of the better ones here. This has Enough Flames Conjuration Mastery. I could re-roll this. But yeah, so let's just use this for now. And just imprint real quick. So my assumption here is that the tool... I don't even understand the tooltip, because it should be like roughly... So the tooltip for combustion should be 60% plus another 125. So here's the thing. I think I know what it is, actually. So I think an additional 25% X of your damage to burning damage, and that 25% X is multiplied with the 60%. That... No, not even that makes sense, because I would end up at more than 120% then. So, I don't know. In no way the number makes any sense. So, let's just put on this Incinerate aspect here. Let's see if we can do 1 billion. So, we do this one here. Oh, this is the wrong one. Flamethrower. So let's see if we can do 1 billion. The dot roll on staff. The damage over time. No, it didn't change. Right? If look at the tooltip now, it says 82.5, right? If I remove this, it says 82.5. So I don't even know what it does. Let's just remove random stuff until it's 82.5. Let's just remove random stuff until it says something different. 82.5. Just remove whatever. 82.5. Hey, what's up? Let's remove everything. Oh, why? Still 82.5. By the way, I have the wrong gear on. That explains why my damage was so low. Anyway, so I guess we cannot get any value out of this tooltip. The only thing I can test is if I actually change my glyph to the other one. So wait, I have to get my Air of Perdition here. I have this one here with +7 core skills, very nice. And then obviously we need some real pants here. So let's get real with this build now. Because obviously I have prepared this. And let's get some real boots here. So we can either go for normal boots, or we could go for the cooldown reduction ones. But I don't really think we need cooldown reduction at all, so I'm probably just going to go for the normal boots here. And then we need a better Starless Guise, because, you know, my Starless Guise just has attack speed, and this build doesn't use any attack speed, so... but let's just, with these changes right now, let's just do this again, and see what happens. So 100 million, 500 million... 600 million, 700 million, 800 million. So it's getting a little better here with the actually correct gear. Let's check the tooltip here. Oh, look, it changed for whatever reason. I have no clue why it changed, but it changed. So... Wait, what changed it? Oh, now it's 82. So it actually changes when I cast a spell. I don't know why it changes when I cast a spell, because I think something... Ah, yeah. so while channeling Incinerate, you burn enemies. Something is increasing burning damage while channeling. This one here, right? No, this one not. Less damage? Nope. I thought something was doing while I was channeling. Apparently not. Increased burning damage. 24% increased burning damage. This bonus, while affected by more damage over time than their total life. Honestly, I have no freaking idea. So let's just say I have no freaking idea. So we're gonna put this to the pit now. I just want to reroll my Tarasha ring here to get a couple of more ranks, and I need lucky hit to do vulnerable. And unfortunately, I can get only on the gloves, right? Because lucky hit to get vulnerable cannot be... it could be on the amulet as well. So I could remove 3 glass cannon for that. But without vulnerable, the build is gonna be shit. And there's either a rune, you could do rune with Frost Nova. But I need something to do vulnerable, basically. And my idea was to just use the lucky hit one. So I'm just gonna try with some random gloves here. And see if that actually works. Because then I would just need some new gloves. Or I could put it on an amulet, obviously. And I don't have good gloves here, so... just use these frozen orb ones for now. Actually, putting it on the amulet... is probably a 30% damage loss. I mean, I cannot really use Lightning Spear to apply vulnerable because I think I don't have the cooldown. 13.18 seconds, that's never gonna cut it. So there's really no other way to apply vulnerable than the lucky hit. So I could obviously remove a Starless Skies ring. That would work probably. Or I could remove 5 Incinerate ranks on the gloves, obviously, but I don't have better ones. So let's just use some random gloves here. Wait, what is the Frost Nova rune? There's a Frost Nova rune, right? God damn it. Where is that? Where's the rune which casts Frost Nova? There. So you need 300 offering for a Frost Nova. 300 offering will be with standing still. Every 3.6 seconds for vulnerable? That should work, right? Let's try this. So cast an on-channel core skill, that's not going to do anything for us. So let's just get some topaz on there.
There is power in these stones.
Of course I cannot carry them. Alright. 3.3k intelligence, not too bad, right? So yeah, all we gotta do is do the Tarasha ring here, the Starless Skies. This one here. So let's just get some core skills on here. Because I really don't want to waste a whole bunch of stuff here. Just gonna get a double core skills here. See where I'm gonna end up. I mean, I think we should be able to clear, like, do some billion damage ticks at least. Is that gonna be any good? We will see as soon as I have this ring finished. And then we're gonna somehow probably fix vulnerable. Aiden gave like 1200 cinders. Or are you doing like the whatever random event? I don't really care, so... So I guess if you have lucky hit to apply vulnerable on your gloves, it's gonna be the best. Come on. How many more attempts do you force me to do this? Ah. Bro, just get freaking core skills. What's your goddamn problem? Even the button doesn't react. Like, if I click on the button, it doesn't properly execute my clicks. Oh god, this system. Also, why can't the reset button not be here? Like, next to the goddamn... Why do I have to move my mouse from the bottom of the freaking screen to the top of the freaking screen to reset, then move it back down to the confirm button? God damn it. Please give Blizzard, just give me a freaking break on this system. I can't wait for the day where I don't have to do this bullshit anymore. It's gonna be a very, very happy day. So it's like a 1 in 16 chance. I'm probably like 50 tries in now. Come on. Just get over it. Yeah, it's gonna win the game award for the biggest bullshit annoying system. I would totally grant that award to this game. Just make a award for this, for the worst UI of any games. Thank you very much. So there you go. It's good enough. I'm not gonna go for triple. No freaking way. I think it already has a gem, yeah. Right, so now we have... How much Incinerate do we have? We have armor. We have resistance. We have okay resistance. And we have... Incinerate. 22 ranks, not too bad. So let's see. We have the right aspects on. Yep. So let's do like a random pit now. I think I'm not gonna even go with teleport enchant. Because this build is gonna be shit anyway. So I'm just probably gonna go with fireball enchant right straight ahead here. Even though I don't have skill points to put into it. Where can I take some skill points from? Oh yeah, who cares about that shit? We go all out fire. Alright, we're gonna try tier 80 first. Let's see. Of course you can only redeem it once, right? The one-time click. Okay, so let's see what happens. I'm excited for this one. Alright. Let's cast some shit here. Look at this. Mystical Frost Nova for free. Look at this. I can even kill like an elite in tier 80. That's not bad. I mean... Alright, we have to figure out this combustion story, though. Because I feel like, I mean, let's just face it, like, this does literally, this is not Z DPS anymore. So this is some DPS, especially if they get vulnerable, right? So we get easily into the billions. I did not fix vulnerable or anything yet on this build. So, I mean, just ignore that I'm, like, horribly slow in doing anything. But it's kind of doing some damage, at least. I think the Firewall enchant doesn't seem to do anything. Actually, once in a while it does a Firewall here, there. Yeah, right, let's see what happens now. Pretty annoying. Right, let's just try to do anything here. It's honestly, so far, it's doing better than expected. I mean, this is gonna have crazy boss damage. I can already tell you, this is gonna melt bosses. Like, this is gonna kill bosses like there's no tomorrow. I have to get teleport enchant. Cannot deal with this. It's so weird because you have to keep channeling Incinerate, right? So it takes 2 minutes until it 2 seconds until it does damage. So you really cannot interrupt it. But I really don't think this is even remotely doing the damage boost on the combustion. I think either it's just like a wording issue. I have to read the tooltip of this. I think you can actually cast in between Incinerate. I think it's refreshing. Let's see. I mean, it's ticking in the billions, right? And I'm not really optimized yet. And my survivability is bad, right? I would need much more damage reduction. So probably you could do like frost armor or something like that. I don't really know if I need barrier for anything in this build. So I guess with teleport enchant to just go like a little faster. Right, this is gonna be... See? I mean, if you're like in the pack and it gets vulnerable by the Frost Nova, it's actually alright. The explosions of Fireball definitely don't do anything. I don't really see them having any effect whatsoever. So also probably the explosions of the of this Incinerate aspect don't do anything, so I probably want to replace those. And you probably want to have like pulling. You probably want to have either no, you don't want to have Rayman in this build because you have to stand still in channel. But you probably want to have Vortex. But, I mean, this is not too horrible. The build is still... It's still horrible because it just... The standing still, it's just so against the playstyle of Sorc. The Frost Nova to apply Vulnerable works okay, but it's also like a wasted rune slot, which I could use for Vortex. But see, against groups, it's actually pretty decent. I mean, it's a pit tier 80, obviously. Any Chain Lightning build will clear this in like sub 2 minutes. But we are here for the casual, right? This is like a casual build. We have to figure out like how the bonus works. And my assumption really is the bonus is not burning damage. I think the bonus is the the attribute burning damage, which is only gonna be achievable by Torch Glyph. It's kind of my assumption there. I think it was written the boost, you would just get the boost once, right? So my assumption was you get one boost. And that's it, end of story. Okay, 500 million, 600 million. I mean, you could probably use a lightning spear and cooldown reduction from boots here to do vulnerable as well. I think if you do ice blades and lightning spear, like the classic enchantments, this will be better. I was just trying to put as much fire skills on my bar as possible. Also, I only seem to have 2 Tarasha stacks, which I don't really understand why. Because I'm actually casting Familiar, which is supposed to... Ah, okay, so it only counts as a fire skill. So I'm technically not having Frost right now. So that's another 25% I'm missing. So I guess you have to play Ice Blades even with this build. I think there's no build without Ice Blades. So yeah, but let's just iterate on this and see where we can go. I want to see what happens to the tier 80 pit boss. Because if this build is gonna be of any use, right, it's gonna be like for tier 90 plus pits or something like that. Because it's just gonna be so slow that no matter what you're gonna do with this build, right, it's not gonna be any good, right? So the only good thing is really where you can take your time to kill the elite packs because you're pushing like higher tiers. I think this has no potential of doing any kind of speed content whatsoever. But yeah, let's see what happens to this Chief Marauder now. I assume this is just gonna melt in seconds. Okay, actually it doesn't. Alright, this is so bad. Right now he's... So 700 million is my ticks here. 600. That is so freaking disappointing. Alright, so that was that. Let's see, where's my torch glyph? So now we can at least check if it has something to do with the torch glyph. No, nothing for rogue. Meteor is not going to be any good. Nope. So now we can see if this is actually affected by torch glyph. Because this is definitely affected by something when I leave town, like at least the tooltip. And now I want to do... now I have the torch glyph. Let's just put it here. Now I can actually get willpower for it. Let's do clever. Right, so let's put willpower on this torch glyph here. Okay, so now we have 20... Okay, so this says fire damage over time. So, so it says... For every 5 willpower purchased within range, you deal 4.4% increased burning damage. And on the top now it says fire damage over time. Like, what is this? And let's see if the tooltip is changing. Yeah, so... Okay, so here's the thing, right? That was my suspicion. Because Blizzard is just out of control and stupid. So, this is not gonna be increased by your bonus damage to burning enemies, right? It's not true. It's exactly what I freaking suspected. So this is increased by your burning damage, which makes this absolute shit, right? I thought this would be like 125% X because it uses the bonus damage to burning, but this literally uses damage to burning. And there is really not much which does damage to burning. So there is Torch Glyph, right, which I don't have leveled up. Okay, we're gonna level it up, but so there's Torch Glyph, which does this, and it says fire damage over time. So there used to be a fire damage over time temper that has been removed. The damage over time doesn't work on it. It has to be fire damage over time. Fire damage doesn't work for it. Bonus damage to burning doesn't work for it. So what works for it is, if you look at your codex, I think there is, wait, how do you freaking open the codex? Collections, whatever. So there is increases burning damage. So I think aspect of conflagration buffs it. Increases burning damage to enemies. I think these will buff it. And I think that's gonna be it, honestly. Increased damage over time. That's not gonna do it. So you really need increased burning damage. So this is your burning damage. So this one works for burning damage. This one does not. This one does not. So here's the problem now, right? So this build is essentially shit because this damage to burning enemies doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't buff what it's supposed to do. The only thing I can do is I can use Torch Glyph, right? And Flame Feeder as well doesn't buff it. So I choose Flame Feeder because it says it gives you increased damage to burning targets, but it doesn't work with the combustion. So the only thing which works on combustion is the damage bonus to burning, and that's only freaking Torch Glyph. And maybe some effects on your skill tree. So this one probably works, right? Increased burning damage. I think all these multipliers work. But I don't even know. More burning damage over time than their total life. So it's very hard to tell, but something is working out of these modifiers. This one is not. Probably this one is increased burning damage. So I think Firewall will work somehow with it. But yeah, so what we need to do is we need to develop this goddamn Torch Glyph to see to get the maximum bonus out of it. We have like Flame Feeder here somewhere, this one here, which it does absolutely nothing to this build, right? Because the damage to burning enemies doesn't trigger it. It's garbage. So you can basically use any other glyph here, which just boosts damage or whatever. So you can just use like, for example, Pyromaniac here. It doesn't really matter. Like you can literally use any glyph. Yeah, so and Torch, I mean it's probably nice in AoE if you have this leveled up. Because this has like a 4.4% on, I don't know how much. I think this gives like 20% per willpower, and there might be a good willpower board, so you might be able to get a decent amount out of this. But unfortunately, not how it's supposed to be. So I think this build is not gonna be capable of basically doing anything decent. Obviously, if you have perfect items for this, it's gonna be a little bit better. And if you can fix vulnerable and do vortex and stuff like that, it's gonna be a little bit better. But So yeah, we have so this one probably stacks with it. But I don't understand what is initially increasing this multiplier here. Because I don't really have anything on my bar which is increasing that. But anyway, let's try to change this to like a workable build now. So Fireball Enchant doesn't do anything basically. And just remove that. This. And then let's just go for max teleport here, so we are just a little bit quicker. And well, actually, so let's go for Lightning Spear. Just go for like any other Sorc build, basically. What else can we remove here? Probably we don't need this bullshit. So I guess we would just go for classic conjurations here again. And then I would go for my Rakanos Wake. And then I would put my... This already has Exploiters, that's good. And now we have some better cooldown reduction here. I obviously didn't even use an elixir, right? I don't even know what elixir would you want to use with this build. You could probably get extra life or something like that. And then we can basically remove teleport from the bar. We don't need that. We can just change it to familiar, for example. And so now let's just try this again. Do another 80. So this is really unfortunate. Because the only glyph I basically haven't maxed is Torch. And it's also like very, very slow, because you don't have any attack speed, right? So after you cast everything, anything, like it has just like such a huge delay. So, I mean... So there's easy... Like, you can easily get, like, 4 times the damage I'm doing right now. Maybe even, like, 10 times the damage. Because I have, like, wrong glyphs right now. I have to change Flame Feeder to something else. I have to level up Torch. Because Torch ends up being the only thing which is going to be buffing my Conflagration aspect. Combustion aspect. Combustion. Passive, whatever. We would have to get more survivability here. Probably could add Ice Armor as well for some extra damage to crowd controlled. But yeah, so my assumption was this can probably do like tier 95 in an optimized version. Which is probably gonna be true. If you have decent key passives on your amulet. No, I'm not gonna do Meteor. That builds it's still shit. I wanna get this build basically going, but I might have to revert real quick to a speed farming build to just level up my Torch. Which, you know, goes pretty fast, actually. I don't even need to change my skill tree. I could just level up the Torch real quick. And see how much bonus damage it actually gives. So you would need permanent unstoppable in this build. So basically you need ice armor and you need the ice armor aspect. This is just not working because you're just gonna be stunned all the freaking time in this build, right? So really, it doesn't work at all in this kind of variant. Because you want to stand still basically and cast. And if you don't do this, you're just gonna get killed by random stuff. So, I mean, I think this still has some potential. I just have to figure out the right way to play this build. Because right now I'm just taking way too much damage. I'm using like a weird Frost Nova aspect to do vulnerable. I don't have pulling. As you can see, like if you're in the right position, like these elites like die, and this is tier 80, right? So this is, I mean, it's not very high, but yeah. So I mean, you don't have barrier right now, so the problem with Sorc builds right now is you're basically encouraged to spam skills. And by playing this build, you do basically the exact opposite, right? So spamming skills actually reduces your DPS. And that's kind of the concept of the Incinerate build just doesn't work with the current Sorc meta. I also like take significant amounts of damage. Ah, okay, I don't have armor max, that explains it. Because I changed my boots there, so I would just eat an instance here real quick. But yeah, you need permanent unstoppable for this. Let's do armor. So now we are armor capped. So I shouldn't die anymore at least. I think ice blades with ice blades and Chan will not benefit this build. I really think just going for ice armor with unstoppable, and then just face tank these. Avalanche and Burst Mastery, I don't think it matters at all. Like Avalanche, the changes don't matter at all. That it's just gonna boost like some random skill damage from Frost skills, and Frost skills don't do damage. So it really doesn't matter at all. If you know a couple of your core skills are just gonna deal like 60% more damage or not, 60% of nothing is still gonna remain nothing. Oh, I don't have Lightning Spear. I was thinking I had Lightning Spear. That was my plan, actually. But yeah, we'll figure this out. I will at least make a playable build out of this. That's my goal. Just make a playable build out of this. Because this damage buff is definitely possible to do something with this. Well, I mean, Pit 80 is I didn't figure out this build, right? Right now I'm just playing complete bullshit here. So don't think this is gonna be like the final version of this build here. This is really just testing the damage right now. And honestly, the damage is not too bad. So it's not fireball, but it's also not buggy, right? So this is already doing more damage than Frozen Orb or Chain Lightning by itself. Right, so Frozen Orb or Chain Lightning, the skills by itself do significantly less damage than this. Like, significantly less damage. And, again, I still can improve by at least 500%. If not more. But again, I have to level up a Torch Glyph for this, definitely. Which I might do, but first of all I have to figure out Unstoppable and shit like that. Life regeneration I think will be fine if I push some more defenses, some more life nodes. But yeah, bosses are freaking annoying with this, I have to say. I think maybe you still want to get the Tarasha ring with the attack speed. And by the way, I forgot my mercenaries as well. Yeah, but Frozen Orb enchantment is not going to work because you want to channel. And it's not going to proc off channeling. So the best vulnerable is really just have the lucky hit to do vulnerable. But the one I have right now with the Frost Nova every 5 seconds, it actually works alright. It's not the perfect solution, but it works. Unfortunately, in this build, there's no runes which do something on channeling, right? There's just non-channeled core skills. But yeah, so I wanna change my glyphs. Basically, I'm just playing like non-working glyphs right now, right? So with this, you would want to play Eliminator in your first board, I guess. I don't even know what glyphs. I mean, you could play Control. You could play Destruction. Doesn't make any sense. So basically, you can just play like the regular damage boosting glyphs, like Eliminator. You can do here with getting like all your intelligence. Flame Feeder you don't really need, it does nothing at all. And I'm what did I even do here? So we definitely have to fix this Paragon board now. So we have Pyromaniac here, put it back in here. It's the willpower. So let's do this. Again, all these damage to burning nodes, they basically don't do anything. They're basically worthless. And then we want to put our Eliminator glyph here with all our intelligence. I got all of them. So this gives like some decent damage bonus. And then we have the Pyromaniac here with the boosts, which this board. So even choosing this board, right? I mean, you have to choose Burning Instinct, but choosing this glyph here doesn't really make any sense because you're boosting critical strike damage, and you don't need critical strike damage, right? So most likely, you're just gonna remove this glyph here and just gonna change it to. I don't know how much willpower this has, but this probably will hold Torch or something like that. I don't even know at this point. I have to upgrade it. But yeah, so this is Elementalist, this is fine. This Unleashed, this is fine. But these glyphs are not so good in this build because I don't need the non-physical damage because I don't have Enlightenment, right? So these are just basically just buffing like some random additive damages. But I really don't have anything better. There's really no good glyphs which would help me. You don't need Destruction or anything. They don't do anything in this build, right? So let's just put it back in here. And so what I'm just gonna change this real quick to just a speed farming setup. I just wanna push this glyph just a little bit. It goes really fast. But it doesn't make any sense to try this without Torch. Good thing these builds are so simple, I just know them by heart. Good enough for me. So now let's just put Shaco on and put this on. This on. And put these on, I guess. these on. Put this on, put this on. And put... Wait, where's my amulet? Let's, I'm just gonna quickly boost this glyph here. It's really just gonna take like a few runs. I don't even care about the Paragon, I will still be like fast enough. Currents, teleport enchant, and teleport enchant and firebolt enchant, and then we do unstable currents. Times unstable currents, so we wanna and switch my Paragon, yes. And we want to ensure the enchantment master is equipped again. Let's just push this glyph up real quick here. So I'm just gonna do this like a tier 75. So this is gonna be super quick. Should probably get my mercenaries at this point, but oh wait, I need aspects. Pyro crit in temper now. So the problem is all these things, they don't do anything for these builds, right? They're completely useless. That's the problem with Incinerate. Like, all the meta mechanics of Sorc kind of go against the build. Wait, so I want to get like this girl. This guy here. Then I want to just get my pet real quick here. Is there a pet guy here? No. Why is there no wardrobe here? The last spell talent? Yeah, I don't have it. Enlightenment. You're right. So, but it's just so horrible. I'm always right when I predict that Blizzard's tooltips are bullshit and not correct. And that's like such a huge issue. So we want splintering. Whatever. So we want this, and now I have mercs, and I just want to get my pet, and then we can push this glyph through real quick. But yeah, so it's not burning, it's not damage to burning. I was actually hyped, but unfortunately I have been proven wrong. I don't want to go to the freaking shop, man. These UIs are just so horrible, like I cannot even express how horrible they are. So let's go. So we need no pyromaniac. Need destruction. It's probably gonna be enough. All this shit we don't need. Again, this is wrong board and everything, but nobody cares, honestly. Good enough. Alright, let's do this. There's a wardrobe item next to your character in the inventory. Ah. I was always searching for this. Interesting. Why is there no hotkey? Thanks. Alright, wait. What am I doing wrong? I don't want to equip Shaco, actually. I don't have crits. I have the wrong runes. I have the wrong Air of Perdition on. No, I have Shaco on. So I need the crit rune, I think. No, I have it. I guess it's good enough. Just need to like do 3 or 4 pits to get that glyph up. But yeah, I don't even know what I'm missing. I cannot think about it right now. I think in pit I'm playing Raymond instead of Shroud of False Death. It's kind of a big deal here. I gotta switch to Raymond. But yeah, so annoying. Like, I was thinking about this whole torch story. But you know, one time you put your hope in Blizzard actually putting a tooltip correct, and they just don't. I wish the fire damage over time would still be there, the temper. What am I missing? I'm not doing any DPS for whatever reason. I think for the pit setup we play Frostburns. I think that's the wrong thing here. So we play Frostburns. That is correct. That is... Okay, this has a duplicate. This is also a wrong aspect here. So let's do Storm Swell here.
How may I help you?
Okay, then we do Attack Speed Elixir. And then we do Frostburns. Da-da-da, that's all good. Taco we keep. Correct aspects here, correct ring here, so that looks good. Ah, I want to have Raymond. Raymond. Okay. No Azure Res. Just delete that thing. So if you want to play like a serious lucky hit build, the best thing is if you want to if you can triple masterwork basically, right? You just want to play what's it called? See how it works. So you just want to play the Elemental Surge temper. That does actually much higher damage than Frostburns, and it does much higher damage than Azure Res. And it's just Chain Lightning build is really, you can easily get like pit tier 105 if you have these tempers. So for speed farming, like these are actually incredible. Disable my damage numbers, but as you can see, like if you put Rainman, so you can actually pull the mobs, the lightning spears are just gonna pick them up in like seconds. So it's really not so difficult to build a decent speed farming build with Sorc, even though I still have like wrong Paragon boards, wrong glyphs, and everything like all messed up. As you can see, this is just it's 75 obviously, but I just want to go through this fast so I can level up my torch glyph, and I can go back to trying Incinerate. But, you know, the Frostburn version is also just fine for these kind of contents. But as soon as she's staggered, she's just gonna die in like seconds. Let's see. So then I'm still trying to figure out how to play Incinerate properly. I think you just really go for Unstoppable with Ice Armor. I think you don't even do Conjurations. I think it's just not worth casting the Conjurations and interrupting your Incinerates. I said, like, Chain Lightning speed farming builds are very good for like 75 pits. They still work on like tier 80 pits, but then they kind of fall off at some point for the speed farming, and then, you know, the real builds focusing on Air of Perdition Helmet instead of Shaco will take over, since at some point this is just not going to deal enough damage anymore. I just use like a regular weapon with crit damage. Just wand and focus, really. Or like a dagger and focus, whatever you want to do. I know, like, it's Sorc, right? You always play the same aspect. Stormswell aspect, Shredding Blades aspect. And Splintering Energy aspect. There's like really no other aspects you ever play on Sorc. Really just the random damage aspects you have. You can just look at my channel, there's like a speed farming Chain Lightning guide. You find it there. To disable these damage numbers is freaking annoying, I hate them. Okay, watch. You're welcome. So, let's see. Let's need a couple of more levels here. I wonder if anybody ever built like a legit Incinerate build I can just steal. Oh yeah, I want to disable damage numbers. The biggest problem is that you get like kind of stuck on all the edges on the map all the time. Especially in these Nahanpu style dungeons most of the time. It's a little bit annoying. But yeah, so I'm just gonna put this like to like tier the Glyph level 75 or something like that. That's gonna be accurate enough. Yeah, I'm gonna be missing like the last 15% damage, but you know, that's gonna be just fine. Yeah, you can do tormented bosses with every build. It always depends like where you are in the game, right? So how much gear you have. Usually, you know, if you're asking yourself the question, can I do tormented bosses with a build? You're probably not there where you want to do tormented bosses at all. Because then you're probably somewhere in the early game and you want to play an early game build. Because this is an end game build. So, if you're like playing any kind of end game build, it doesn't matter if it's speed or not. Like, tormented bosses have literally no HP whatsoever. So, basically every build is just gonna melt tormented bosses. So this build is gonna kill tormented bosses in like 7 seconds probably. Because it's a speed-focused build. A more damage-focused build will kill tormented bosses in like 1 or 2 seconds. It's really just a question how many seconds it takes to kill them. Right, so we are at like 60, so I gotta do some tier 80s after this, and then I'm gonna spec back to Incinerate. Like, these elite mobs basically have almost the same HP as a tormented boss. They have, this one tier have probably roughly the same amount of HP, really, than a tormented boss. And the pit boss has probably like 10 times the HP of a tormented boss at this level, at tier 75. So, because tormented bosses don't scale, they're just like, you know, at Torment 4, they're not gonna get any stronger. And that's kind of like equal to whatever it is, like Pit 45 or something like that, Pit 60, I think. I don't even know what like the scaling there is. Because Pit 60 is Torment 4, but I think Tormented boss has less HP than a tier 60 Pit boss, but it might be the same, somewhere around that. Okay. I still can't believe that tooltip is wrong. I still can't believe how they can publish a mid-season freaking update with wrong tooltips. It has been 1.5 years, like it cannot be so freaking difficult to make an accurate tooltip. It's just completely out of control at this point. Like the quality they deliver is, I don't know, it's completely out of control. So let's do tier 80 with this. Maybe like 2 more runs, then I think the glyph is gonna be high enough. Do like tier 80. This should also be dealing with tier 80, no problem. Probably even can probably go to like the tooltip from combustion. They buffed combustion basically. Well, they said they're gonna buff it to the moon basically. But, well, in the end, the tooltip is wrong, so it really doesn't do a whole lot. Basically, the tooltip says it's gonna give you 25% X of your bonus damage to burning enemies. Bonus damage to burning enemies is, you know, there's Paragon nodes doing that, and you can boost that with glyphs. There is, so you can get roughly like 500% bonus damage to burning enemies. And that would be an extra 125% burning damage. But unfortunately it's not that stat, it is the stat burning damage. And not damage to burning enemies. Which by itself, stupidly enough, like how is there even 2 different stats? Damage to burning enemies and burning damage? Because yeah, it's something different. Because damage to burning enemies is basically all damage you deal to burning enemies. And burning damage is really just your fire damage over time. I think it's the same. The temper was called fire damage over time, but it got removed. Yeah, so it's not your bonus damage to burning enemies, it's your bonus burning damage. So there is really no sources of burning damage except for the torch glyph. There's no source of burning damage in your skill tree. There's no source of burning damage on any item whatsoever. So really the only source of burning damage is Torch Glyph. So it's really just shows, like, it's a perfect example on how weird the changes they are implementing are. That they don't even remotely understand, like, the classes or anything. They just put, like, a random change without even, like, thinking about it. And, you know, maybe they just screwed up, they picked the wrong stat or whatever. But it's a huge issue, basically. This is a speed farming chain lightning build. You can find it on my channel. What? How did this kill me? Wow. Really? I don't even know what that was. But yeah, T80 is already, like, high for this build, basically. Since we're using Shaco and not Air of Perdition, you're basically missing out on, like, at least 100% damage. Well, that might have killed me. But yeah, so I'm just gonna level my Forge Glyph here, so I can use it for the Incinerate build. So we have 62. What? It's just +1? Okay, so that's stupid. But so I can go back to 75 actually. I want to have it, like, at least at, like, 70. I want to see how much of an impact it does, so I'm really going to want to get it up to tier 70. I mean, at this point, it's even stupid to do 75. I could just do tier 70, but I was on the assumption I can still get a +2 in this. But apparently I can't. So I guess I have to do, like, do three more of these or something like that. But yeah, so it really makes no sense to do, like, a tier 80. But this is obviously not Incinerate build, right? So but we're gonna go back to Incinerate once I have this Glyph leveled up. It's not my fault, it's Blizzard's tooltip. If Blizzard named their tooltip as burning damage, I would have leveled up my Torch Glyph before. That is really annoying. But yeah, that's gonna give, like, a significant damage boost with the Torch Glyph, right? That's gonna be, like, more than double the damage when you play Torch Glyph with, like, a decent level. And then I just gotta figure out the aspects. So it's gonna be a little bit on the training dummy to see how to reach max damage with what aspect combination. Okay, so now it goes to 90% already. Okay, I'm already at 70, so let's do one more. I wish there would be a source of burning damage. Maybe I'm missing it. Is there some item which does bonus burning damage whatsoever? For whatever reason, the fire damage over time temper got removed. Which I never understood why their temper got removed, because it was like such a great early game temper, the fire damage over time. See, like tier 78, it still works fine. Like this build stops being like fast at like tier 80. Then you basically have to switch helmets. But yeah, this is gonna be the last one, I think. I think tier 70 Glyph is gonna be enough for Incinerate build. I can still level it to 100 if I need it at some point. But just for checking out the build will be enough. And I need to find a good board which has a good amount of willpower. I will have to check on the planner which board is good for willpower. Hope it's gonna be Burning Instinct. Oh, come on. This game makes you so freaking lazy. So... okay. So now let's figure out the Incinerate build again. We have enough Glyph power now here. We have a tier 72 Torch Glyph. That's good enough. That's good enough. So let me just check real quick here the boards. It's gonna show how much willpower you can get. So this is a 79. So fundamental release is a 79 willpower. That's pretty good. See if we got anything better. So fundamental release actually has the highest willpower. That's pretty good because that board is in general pretty useless. Should we check the patch notes? No, don't mind it. Like it's just ignore it. All right, so let's go for fundamental release with Torch Glyph now. So we gotta get some points here. So let's do some serious stuff here now. We're gonna get all the willpower in this board. And this really has a lot of willpower. 79. So this gives us 200% fire damage over time. according to the stupid Blizzard tooltip, this should now boost my combustion to like 160%. Well, guess it's 109% Blizzard. For whatever reason, I don't know. What's in the game now compared to 1 month ago? Really nothing. There's like a random raid. And some random raid, like there's Kura's Undercity, which is like a random farming. Itemization hasn't changed at all, so the game is pretty much still the same. So I guess this means this has 197. And if the tooltip here says... So the tooltip here says 109. So I only gained 40% on top of the 60 I already have. So I don't know. I would assume this to be 160%. But maybe it's multiplicative in a negative way. Maybe it's 60 times. I don't even know. I don't understand this tooltip. My assumption would be this should have been much higher. But, you know, it is like it is. Thank you, Blizzard. So let's go back into Incinerate now. Yeah, you can skip it and come back next season. It's my honest opinion. So we want Ice Armor with mana. 1 second. Probably this one here. Probably just even gonna max it out here. I don't even know if you would want to cast Hydras. Okay, so what else do we need? Barrier. And I don't even know yet what to do with the last 2 skill points. We will see. But I feel like using conjurations is not even beneficial. But I don't know. I cannot say at this point. I want to get Firewall enchantment probably still. I think it's a good enchantment for this. Because it gives you extra burning damage. So yeah, what do we do with the Paragon now? Because we still need Burning Instinct, obviously. Because we need Burning Instinct node. But we don't need all this stuff in here, obviously. We need Pyromaniac Glyph somewhere. In this one, we would probably want to play Eliminator, I would say. I think Eliminator will be a decent glyph to play in there. Is it? Let me just check where I played it. So I played it in here. Yeah, we'll probably play a Pyromaniac or Elementalist. Doesn't even matter, but I think Elementalist is better there. Okay, so let's do Elementalist in here. How come I'm not max Paragon? Because I have a freaking life. And I really don't care. I couldn't care less than maxing this Paragon because again I have a life. So that's kind of the story. Good for me. So now let's get this one here. So, is there anything else we can possibly use? Not really. We just use random glyphs here. Let's get another willpower. So now we just... I mean, I don't even care about Enchantment Master, honestly, but... Oh, you might as well get it if you have it. There's really no other board I would want to use. Like, there's nothing I can really take benefit of. Because, you know, if you don't use Destruction, there's really nothing which is beneficial to you. So we have Tactician left for... We could use Tactician instead of Elementalist, but instead of Eliminator. But you know, honestly, I think Tactician is not even as good as Eliminator in this build. And Unleash is probably the better glyph here. I don't even know if Unleash or Tactician. I think Tactician is probably going to be the better glyph. Need some decks. Good. So we have this, we have this, we have this. Now I just need to basically feed my Eliminator, or I could just use Unleash instead. But I will probably just feed my Eliminator glyph. But I don't have enough points with this stupid build. Because this is a very, very inefficient Paragon board to use in general. So I'm probably just not going to use my Eliminator, or I have to use my Eliminator in the first board, actually. But if I use my Eliminator in the first board, I have to use a bad glyph on this crit damage, which I don't need, which I don't really like. So, I don't know. I don't even think I have the points to feed Eliminator, honestly. I'm just probably going to go with Unleash. But it's also stupid. Like, I really don't have a good glyph I can play. I guess I can just play Eliminator with non-maxed int. Probably the best thing I can do here. I'm probably even closely max it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Need these two, so I need like another 10 points or so. I really hate min-maxing stuff I don't want to min-max. Go for Elementalist here. And go for Paramaniac here. Right. This is okay, I guess. I have yes, I have 4 points. One we maxed. R. This one I don't even need, right? Use these 3. Doesn't really make a difference. Okay. So I need technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more points. Where can I get 5 more points from? Actually, I need 6, 7 more points. I guess we can just remove random damage. Nah, I don't really want to remove damage reduction, but I think I can remove armor. Just remove armor. Ah. You know what? I don't care. I'm just gonna run with a little bit less intelligence now. It's good enough for me. Don't really wanna go like all out crazy here on min-maxing this board. So we're gonna play this, then we're gonna put our boots back on. And we're gonna play gloves with the Incinerate here. Back to this one here. Okay, so now let's test. So I want to have the... Okay, shit, I need regular boots. Because I need a defensive aspect, and I kind of need this. So I need the normal boots. Unfortunately, that means I'm not gonna have resistance. Boots. Actually, I can put resistance on my rings here. So we need... How is that aspect called? Something with snow. I have to change it. Snow guard, so snow veiled. I can never get that right. This one, you're right. Snow veiled. Then this one gets exploiters. Okay, so then we have... One gets the beam. Flame thrower, or whatever it's called. Incinerate stuff here. And this one is supposed to have a rune word. Because I guess the plus damage over time is not gonna boost my note here. So I would play a rune word in the stuff actually. Because that little additive damage is basically not gonna give me a whole lot. And we're gonna play... So I'm playing Liz Tool right now. I think that's still the best thing I can play. Get some more topaz. Liz Tool. Again, this is not final. Is it? Okay, so this is boots. Now I will have horrible resistances, most likely. Oh, actually, I'm maxed. Why am I maxed on resistances? I don't fully understand why. I guess I have... Oh, I have 3.8k intelligence. I guess that's it. It's actually kind of crazy. So this amulet is the incorrect one. I unfortunately only have... where is it? I mean, Inner Flames is not the best stat, to be honest. And, I mean, I could reroll another one I have. Not sure which one is the best though. Let's put a gem in there. Rockets. Is Incinerate good now? I'm still trying to figure that out. But it's not gonna be amazing. Let's just put it like this, right? So it's gonna be still slow as fuck. But it's dealing significantly more damage than before. And now that I figured out the glyph, maybe even a little bit more than that. I mean, you could probably go for Inferno, right? What am I gonna lose if I just play Inferno? I don't have skill points for Inferno though. Because right now I want to play Ice Armor. So probably the best thing we can still play is Ice Blades. I guess good old Ice Blades never gets boring. I think Conjuration Mastery is not even gonna be worth it in this build, honestly. Probably better than Lucky Hit though. So I guess we're gonna play Ice Blades. Let's just try it like this. So now we want to figure out which... no, this one will not be better than Fireball build, not even remotely. So let's try to figure out how to do the max damage, because we basically have a couple of combinations with aspects here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna go and hit the stupid dummy without like anything, no vulnerable, no whatsoever, and see how much deeps I can do. See, now if I go in here, my tooltip here goes to like 176, right? So something is with these tooltips I don't understand, but the multipliers to burning damage kind of like work into this. I really don't fully understand how it works. But now I have damage with burning basically 1100%, right? But you can see this is the same with the bug tooltip. So it says you have 577, but it gets increased to 1100 because I have like burning aspects on. And this now modifies my other tooltip. Well, we need damage numbers. So it's really, really odd. Get a boss training dummy here. Attack power is irrelevant, bro. So we're not gonna do anything but close combat to this. Let's see where we end up. So we get 500, 600. Now he's staggered. When he's staggered, we get like the 800 million range without doing anything. $900 even? I don't know. Ah, that was probably like the Subo with the 30% extra damage. So there, wow, there was a billion. There's the billion. I don't think Flame Scar is any good. I mean, I don't even have it to try. But for the reason this stuff can hold 188% increased damage aspect now, I think Flame Scar is pretty much out. Okay, so we reached 1 billion with like Subo and everything. So let's start swapping aspects around. So now, first of all, I'm gonna swap these two aspects here. Flamethrowers and Conflagration. Well, first of all, actually, I'm gonna exchange Conflagration by a different aspect here. Because there's... is it Engulfing Flames? Yeah, that's the other one, right? So first of all, I'm gonna change Conflagration, which is a flat 43, to Engulfing Flames.
Will your road be filled with wonders?
No. That I don't even know when that aspect got added on, honestly. But this aspect just basically is the that before it used to deal flat damage, and with this patch they changed it to deal percent damage. But again, don't believe anything what Blizzard writes in the tooltip. These aspects might just be flat not working at all. Alright, so we are at 750 million, so it I guess it's fair to say that we lost damage. Just wait. This gets staggered so freaking slowly. Can you stagger it by respawning it? Probably, right? Oh, I made it attacking. Oh no. I pressed Flame Shield, now I have Tactician. So wait, where's my damage gun? So it seems like by choosing this aspect, I'm just doing like significantly less damage. What? How do I stop this training dummy from attacking? Is there like any way to reset that bullshit? Okay, so 400. Okay, I'm so confused now. But the story is here probably. How do you freaking reset this training dummy? Dummy attacks disabled. I don't know who made this UI, but please can you fire this person? I know everybody deserves a job and a life and, you know, happy time, but, you know, can you please fire the person who made this UI? Thanks. Alright, so let's try this again. Can't be so difficult to get back to where I was. Is this even lucky hitting? It's like literally doesn't stagger at all. Right, so now we're back. I don't know what changed, but I'm not doing any damage anymore. Okay, here's the firewalls. Too close for all beams to hit? You sure? Am I hitting now with all beams? Oh. Okay. So... wait, where do you actually need to stand for all beams to hit? Like, not here? Here? And if you're too close, they're not... No. Huh? And that's so weird, because now the beam's hitting again. Okay, anyway, so... I gotta reset this. Get it staggered. So made... Okay, but now I'm hitting again with all beams, right? Yeah. So let's wait for stagger. Right, there we are, 700. This is so odd. Now I'm not hitting with all again. I think you really need to stand like right in this center here. How do you even do this? How can you even play? Now I have it again. See, this is already billions by just launching a few conjurations. Right, we're already getting like into the 2 billions here. If we have it in 3 beams, which is not the case right now, I feel like. No, it is. Okay, so I still feel like the aspect I have on right now is not as good as the one I had before. Because this really just doesn't give me... I mean, this is not healthy all the time, right? And I guess not healthy 25% is not as good as a 43% flat. So I'm gonna change these now. Yeah, I think it just makes them longer, right? The incinerate size, and it should make them wider. I feel like it's the wrong idea there. I mean, I have incinerate size, but I don't think it does really anything. This obviously I have... Like, this amulet is very, very bad, right? I should have one with greater FX intelligence. So if I would be seriously playing this, I would need one of the better ones. And I think I have... I think I have a better one. So I think this one here is better. Because this has a GA intelligence and a GA enough flames. It just has a bricked stat, which is pyromancy attack speed, but honestly, that's not really gonna matter all that much. It has unstable currents cooldown, while this one has evade cooldown, so it's... I'm probably gonna switch to this one here. I just have to re-roll the Conjuration Mastery to something else, so that's gonna be fun. Let's go. We have a good amount of resources to do this. So we could re-roll this to do the Vulnerable. But I really would go for the Vulnerable on the gloves. But this should basically get a glass cannon, right? Glass cannon or Endless Pyre. Is it called Endless Pyre? I think. So I think we can... I want to get like a 95 pit out of this goddamn build. Wait, so this is +4. I think Endless Pyre is freaking strong. By the way, they still couldn't fix the enchantment tooltip. It displays +1, it ignores masterworking and everything. This is really like so horrible. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm destroying my Fireball amulet. This was my Fireball amulet. Which I'm right now like bricking. Well, I'm not bricking it, but I'm not gonna play Fireball again anyway. Or maybe I can get a +5. Maybe I should look what Endless Pyre actually does before. So Endless Pyre gives 6% burning per rank, and it's increased if they're affected by more damage over time. So this is really, I think, the strongest passive you can get. Outside of... I mean, Glass Cannon is also going to be like a 6%. Okay, Glass Cannon is 8%. But I think Endless Pyre is going to be the best passive there, honestly. So I'm just going to go with the +4 now. That's fine enough. I have Glass Cannon and... I have Endless Pyre and Inner Flames. Again, it's not perfect. But this at least has a GA intelligence. So I'm going to jump to like... I'm going to jump 400 intelligence by equipping this. Pretty nice. So, let's put the... So, I want to change the aspects now. I want to put Conflagration on this one here. And now I want to put the flamethrower on here. This is correct, this is correct. So I think... So the 3 beam aspect on stuff gives you... It's not 188, it's not a 1.8. So this tooltip actually says, right, this is 188 extra. And this basically says, if you put it on the stuff, it says it deals 188%. So it just goes like an 88x, and this is a 188x basically, right? This is 188 increased, but this basically just says dealing. So it would say dealing 180% of normal damage. So this is really not a real multiplier. I mean, it's a multiplayer, but it works different. It has different wording. So let's see. I guess I'm not hitting. You need a freaking PhD to hit it with 3 beams. Now we go. So we're already at like 1 billion now without like stagger or anything. So this was already like 3 billion. This was like way higher than the ones I reached with the last setup. I mean, I have a different amulet now. Or 5 billion. Nice. But I don't have permanent ice armor, unfortunately. I need more cooldown reduction. So I could change to... By the way, like, a channeling Incinerate doesn't reduce evade cooldown. So, it's no fast teleporting with this build. I guess you can get evade cooldown reduction. This is chance to stun, by the way. It should have chance to freeze. But this has freeze. I guess that's alright. The question is... I could switch to Rakanos boots to get more cooldown reduction, to have more ice armor uptime. Because I really cannot have 100% ice armor in this build, which sucks. Because ice armor is gonna make me unstoppable. And it's also gonna give me extra damage. But yeah, we're not using enough resource to basically use this at all. So I guess I'm gonna go with Rakanos boots for now. And then I'm gonna go with... Wait, where's the jeweler? Oh my god, the jeweler in the freaking thing here also reverted. Like, they reverted the entire goddamn game to like a horrible state. There used to be a jeweler in here. So I could change my freaking... not a jeweler. I can change my runes, but yeah, okay, you can choose the rune. Ah, no. I was actually thinking there was like an enchanter in there. But that's actually not true. So, let's go for the ice armor aspect here. Snow, whatever. Okay, so let's try this build now against the pit. I wonder if I want to have Familiar or Hydra, honestly, but these last for 8 seconds, so these are probably better than Hydra. And I have Firewall Enchant. I'm not sure if Firewall Enchant is going to be the best. But I think it's cool because it gives you 25x burning. And casting Fireworks manually is just going to be annoying, so I guess it's just a good one. So let's do the tier 85 again, which was horrible last time. Was it tier 85 or was it tier 80? I don't even know. But let's see. Let's see what's happening. It's not too bad, honestly. Still working on this, though. So, I guess you need more cooldown, or somehow need more ice armor uptime. Not sure how to get that. You could also get Lightning Spear, obviously. But I mean, the kill speed on these elites is not too horrible for 85. Okay, I shouldn't have stayed in there though. There was like 3 poison explosions. But this is not too horrible. Again, we could play Inferno to kind of group them in front of the beams. And if we could fix Vulnerable without this Frost Nova thing. I think you should still go for attack speed in this build, honestly. Because after like casting a familiar, it takes like so long until Incinerate goes back on. Yeah, exactly. No, I was thinking it was like not the Jura. There should be like the Occultist should be in there. But yeah, so you really need grouping. So you need kind of Vortex, either Vortex or... Wow, that hurt. So this build is like really... You have no crowd control whatsoever, right? You really just have like a lucky chance to freeze. And that's it. You could get the immobilized, obviously. But I don't even know if the Unstoppable helps. I mean, I guess it helps, obviously. I mean, last time I tried the tier 80, right? This is now tier 85. But it's still without pulling of any kind, like any kind of grouping. This doesn't feel good. And I could probably play Raymond. Or Vortex Rune. Unfortunately, I don't have the gloves. So yeah, I mean, you will need Vortex Rune. So I have to find basically something which can activate a second rune in this build. We could either try to... I mean, the lucky hit freeze is just freaking horrible in this build. Let's face it. We could get these Frost Dwarfs, maybe. I don't even understand what boosts my damage in this build and whatnot. It's just so clunky to play it. Anyway, we're gonna finish this. Also, I don't really see like the burning damage from these mobs at all. Maybe I just don't see it because I don't have it activated? No. Usually their health bars would get this burning stuff, right? They don't even get this at all. So either they just don't burn. I like don't even see like a millimeter of like burning damage on them. Maybe that doesn't work anymore. Maybe it's bugged or something like that. Because I only do burning damage. I should see that. But Incinerate only burns over 2 seconds, so maybe it has something to do with that. It'd be nice to have just some more cooldown reduction on this. But 2 seconds is... I mean, if the mob dies in like 4 seconds, in my opinion, after 2 seconds I should see like a 25% effect on that mob's health bar. But maybe I'm like calculating it wrong. But I mean, this does alright damage so far. And there's definitely lots of stuff I can still improve. I mean, the tier 85 pit would have been relatively easy. But I need, the problem is I don't have permanent ice armor. And that's an issue because I get like stunned and shit like that. And yeah, so I need to add vortex and I need to add permanent ice armor. That's really just a must for this build. And I don't need the teleport on my bar, I can just remove it. The dead skill, so I could probably put Inferno. Also not sure about the firewall enchant there. That's gonna be so beneficial. But I guess it's better than manually casting the firewall. Could also go for ice armor enchant, actually. And maybe even lightning spear. Instead of... Ouch. No, I'm not gonna add Fireball and Shatter. I want to play an Incinerate build. That's the point. Yeah, I mean, you could manually cast them. But I also feel like the proc rate is not that great of the Firewall enchant. Most of the time, the mobs are not even in there. Wait, so I'm too slow. I'm actually not gonna make this in time because I keep dying. Also very hard to keep barrier up in this. Yeah. So that's really like the issue with this build, is just so goddamn slow. Like everything just keeps hitting you. Maybe it would help too. Oh man, my gear is broken. It's just my, like, it's just air of perdition at my chest piece. Not a big deal. Oh god. But, see, like, this one is melting. I mean, I have 2 dead gear pieces. And I mean, this boss damage is good. I have to say, this boss damage is very, very good, actually. I mean, my 2 main damage gear pieces are broken right now. Yeah, you would have to go for more defenses, definitely. The problem is I don't have runes to activate. So essentially I need Vortex. Because without Vortex, I mean, I could play without Vortex. But I would assume Vortex is kind of mandatory. Vulnerable is mandatory. I mean, I could just get Lightning Spear on my bar. Which is alright. I mean, the problem is I don't really have the cooldown I need. But let's just put Lightning Spear here. And I think Familiar is not worth casting it. The cast delay is just too long. Even though it gives you like a 10% extra damage, I don't know if it's worth it or not. And then you basically need either Vortex or so this is stupid, right? I need basically Lucky Hit to do Vulnerable, and I need that on my gloves. So the problem is if I remove Incinerate from my gloves, I mean, how much am I actually gonna lose? So this is actually significant, right? So the Incinerate ranks do like a good chunk of damage. And I don't have better gloves right now, unfortunately. I would just need gloves with int damage over time, with int Incinerate and a Lucky Hit to apply Vulnerable. And I unfortunately don't have them. And I don't really have any random gloves where I could put it on. But I just wanna I wanna test it, so I'm just gonna take any random gloves now. So basically I don't have any gloves, which is even like remotely beneficial for this build. I mean, I can just use like these ones, but I mean, it's just gonna be horrible. So without fixing vulnerable, I could use a ring, basically. But I think even taking a ring out with Starless Guys, it's so the key passive, I cannot tell you. The tooltip in town basically displays 109%. As soon as you are out of town, it displays like 170 or something like that. But I think this tooltip is inflated by the bugged burning damage display. Because it says, where is it? Damage with burning. So as soon as you go out, like all the multipliers go on this stat. And then it looks like it's double dipping or not double dipping. I don't even know what it is, honestly. It's really strange. But it seems like the burning damage, right? This extra burning damage gets applied, at least it gets applied to the tooltip. I don't know if it gets applied to the damage. It just gets applied to the tooltip. And this one here is basically not getting applied. And there was another burning aspect, I think. So this one is also like a burning damage aspect, which would also kind of get applied to the tooltip. So it might be beneficial, but that's pretty much it. There's no other burning. But yeah, so how do I solve the problem with the vulnerable? I mean, the Frost Nova I'm using right now is okay, but I mean, I can use Lightning Spear with 10 seconds cooldown. I guess it will probably be enough. Let's just try it by putting Vortex. Of course, I don't have it here. Yeah, whatever, right? I'm gonna find it eventually. This. And so my problem is I don't really have another rune which I can... I mean, this rune is garbage, right? I cannot activate it. Stand still. This is the only one I'm basically using, right? Liz. Cast a non-channeled core skill I cannot use. Invoke a skill from another class. I can probably use on this one here, right? So I will get 150 for every 300. Is that gonna help me in any way? I mean, I could use this to get like Dark Shroud stacks, for example. All the other ones I cannot really use. This one here, avoid health damage while fighting. This is probably something I could use. Spend 5% of your maximum resource I cannot really use. Cast evade I cannot really use. Cast a skill after moving I cannot really use. So I cannot really use any of these, right? Buck? What's buck? I don't even have buck. Where's the runes? Travel 5 meters? No. That's not gonna... Because I have to stand still. So, I mean, I can effectively... The only other one I can effectively use is invoke a skill from another class. Right, so what I can do is I can use this one with Dark Shroud. Which works alright. Or you could use Barrier. It doesn't really matter so much. Let's just say we're using Dark Shroud. Because I'm never gonna get enough offering for Ohm here. So you can use this, right? This requires 150. And then you cast a skill from another class. And then this generates 150, right? Then you can use this one, Sol. And then you can use that one with your Vortex. So you can basically get 2 runes this way. I even want with the... The problem is you cannot use the non-channeled core skill. And that's the rune you usually would use. And yeah, the moving is just for speed farming, essentially. But yeah, I want to try to change my Tal Rasha ring to the faster ones. Just see how it works out. And that looks good so far. So let's just check this again now. How it works. With a lightning spear. You maxed every class except for Sorc and Barb. What are you doing with your life, dude? That sounds depressing if you ask me. This works alright now. I only have Lightning Spear and Ice Blades for vulnerable. But, you know, it seems to be good enough. So we're getting there, we're getting there. Honestly, don't expect this to be like any kind of an S tier build, right? So with this build, you can be happy if it works at all. But it has significant boss damage. I can tell you, if I end up at a boss with like all my gear not broken, it will actually blast. Have to get some more worms, probably, to get more health regeneration. Have to check my defenses, if they're working properly. But, so, it feels much better with playing the attack speed ring, honestly. Even though, obviously, Incinerate is not affected by attack speed, it feels just so much better playing attack speed. Because all your conjurations and stuff like that, if you cast them and you have attack speed, basically, your Incinerate just starts way faster. So you definitely need attack speed for this build. It just doesn't really work without. With it, now it actually feels decent when I put like on the 50% attack speed Tarasha ring. I'm kind of even getting along. Obviously my teleport is pretty low. No, I don't have a Flame Scar, but I don't think Flame Scar is going to be good. But I will test Flame Scar as well if I have one. Yeah, exactly, cast animations. They are just way too long if you don't have attack speed. Because you need to cast these conjurations. It's just still the same story, right? Conjurations are your damage. Even though in this build you don't have great cooldown, conjurations still give you like a significant chunk of extra damage. Lightning Spear fixes your vulnerable. Ice Blades fix like a lot of your cooldowns with keeping your ice armor up. So I probably even want to go back to like Ice Blades and champ with this. In the end, all Sorc builds just feel better with spamming conjurations. But this is decent now, honestly. Exactly. I mean, this is never gonna go like where the fireball or something is, right? But as you can see, like this is an 85 hit. A regular build cannot even clear this, right? So I mean, frozen like chain lightning can clear this, but it's using basically frostburn, like lucky hit procs to clear. Frozen orb will not really clear this as great. Frozen orb will basically use lightning spear to clear this. So this does significantly more damage than any other core skill at this point already. And again, I am far away from optimizing this right now. And I think this will excel with higher pit tiers. But it's not great to play, right? So it is kind of annoying because you have to stand still and you have to rely on like strange interactions. Like if something is directly in your face, you end up doing no damage because you're not shotgunning it with your 3 beams. But now at least with fixing barrier and stuff, it's getting there. Yeah, nobody cares about Spiritborn. Just don't talk about Spiritborn. Nobody cares that Spiritborn can clear 150. This season is already over. Nobody cares about it. It's just done. So all we care about is next season. Next PTR, next season. This season is irrelevant. Spiritborn this season is completely irrelevant. It has nothing to do with this game whatsoever. It's just like a temporary phenomenon, which is already being removed from the game. So... But my regeneration is freaking bad. I wonder if these are not burning. Because I should have like crazy life regeneration versus these mobs. And I feel like I don't have it. Flame Feeder you cannot use. Yeah, I mean, it might be better. I have to try it. Again, I don't have it. You miss out on a huge chunk of damage from masterworking the aspect. No, they didn't make it OP to make money. It was just bugged. You really... What are you saying there is really not true. Like, it was not intentional that Spiritborn was clearing this kind of content. It was really just 2 bugs. Because it was not tested. Because Blizzard doesn't test stuff. So, there was never the intention of Spiritborn being 10... Not even 10, like, probably 100,000 times stronger than other classes. That was never the intention. It was just bugs. It's really not intentional. It was supposed to be a little bit better than the other classes, and they are already shown when you remove the bug key passive. It was a little bit better than the other classes, but not so much. So it's really just about bugs with the key passives. But yeah, so Flamescar might be worth it. The good thing is if you play Flamescar, you get another cooldown reduction slot on your focus. So I have to trade for one and test it. Okay, let's see how we deal with this boss. Oh yeah, I should probably pay a little bit of attention here. Right now I have it. I think. I don't even know if I... No, I don't think I'm hitting it properly. It's so hard to hit it with all the 3 beams. Flame Feeder does nothing for this build, unfortunately. Flame Feeder, the problem is with this build, you need burning damage. It is not like the tooltip says, damage to burning enemies, which is the one which Flame Feeder gives. With this build, you need damage to burning enemies, which is just Torch Glyph. Flame Feeder basically does nothing in this build, because it gives you, first of all, Flame Feeder just gives you a damage bonus to direct damage to burning enemies. So you don't do direct damage in this build. And again, this is increased burning damage. This is not the stat which is getting boosted by the combustion key passive. So the combustion key passive, the tooltip is just wrong. So you can see right now it's doing 180%, right? And if I put Flame Feeder on now, it's not going to change. It's just going to stay at 180% X. Because this is really damage to burning enemies. This is basically a wrong tooltip. this should be of your burning damage bonus or whatever. So it's really strange because you have these two stats, right? You have damage with burning, and then you have damage versus burning, right? So damage versus burning is the stat which doesn't work, which is Flame Feeder Glyph, but you need damage with burning. But also this tooltip is wrong. It's not the 1200% you're getting. It's not even the 586% you're getting. Because this is basically increased by your fire damage. But your fire damage doesn't work on the multiplier as well. At least not on the tooltip. So it's really, really strange. Right? So if you have this tooltip at 180 and I remove fire damage, right? Let's remove this one here. With 89 fire damage. And now let's look at the tooltip again. Right, it's still at 180.9. I put it back on. 180.9. So even though, if you look at the tooltip now with the damage with damage with burning 1,200, right? I remove this. Now it says 945, right? So this tooltips basically adds your fire damage together with your damage to burning. And then multiplies it by random multipliers which are on your aspects. And this tooltip, I don't even know what it uses. It's all freaking messed up. It's as Diablo 4 style as it gets, basically. And nobody knows what the frick is going on. I mean, I don't know what the frick is going on. So basically you have to test it. But it looks like it is basically the burning damage which affects it. Because if you look at my at the tooltip now, right, it says, in town it says 111. No, damage over time does not count as burning damage. So as you can see, now it's 111. So let's unequip this stuff with 203% damage over time. And now I look at the tooltip. It's still 111. So the only thing which affects this tooltip is burning damage. And burning damage, the only way to get it is torch glyph. So this, as you can see, says fire damage over time. So if I remove this, you will see my burning damage tooltip on this one is gonna go back to 60%. Right? So the way that it basically works is the burning damage from the, what is it called, torch glyph increases it, and then after that it runs through your multipliers. So you know that aspects are not active in town, right? So you see right now my burning damage is 111%, right? If I leave town, it jumps to 180%. Why does it jump to 180%? Because we have burning damage multipliers. Endless Pyre is a 48% burning damage multiplier. So let's remove Endless Pyre. As you can see, my burning damage, or this actually doesn't affect it. But there's other sources of burning damage which actually do affect it. I think it's my aspects. So this aspect mainly gives 65% X burning, right? I remove this. And now you see this tooltip reverts down to, well, it's still 180. What is freaking increasing it? Let's see. So something is increasing this tooltip, and I don't know what it is. Let's remove the glyph here. So now I'm at 82.5. So there's one thing which is increasing it, and it's gotta be something on my skill tree. Let's see what it may be. 82. This one is not it. This one is not it. Blast cannon. Nope. This one here? Nope. So something is increasing my burning damage, which is either in my skill tree or in my items. And it's very hard to figure out what it is. Let's see. So that's why I don't fully understand how this works, right? So... And that's the problem with Blizzard games. Like, you have no freaking clue what's going on, because all the tooltips are just random and wrong. So again, it's still 82.5. So I don't even know what is increasing this at this point. Maybe it's gonna be the... maybe it's the Glyph, actually. See? Maybe it is the... Burning Instinct node. Yeah, Burning Instinct node. So it seems so. So honestly, here's what I think. I think it's just a tooltip bug. I think this number here doesn't really mean anything. Because why do I think that? Because Burning Instinct, right, gives you burning damage bonus, right? And burning damage bonus is basically, for this calculation, like all the additive stats in this game, right? Is the damage with burning here, wherever it is. Damage with burning, no, damage with burning is increased by the glyph. But it is just the tooltip for this additive damage stat being improved. And so right now, I'm basically sitting at, for whatever reason, 0. Right? It says I have 379, but my glyph here says I'm at 60%, so my bonus is 0. As soon as I add this glyph here, it goes to 82.5. So that's 22.5, and that is probably 25% of 90, right? So if I pull up a calculator, and I do like 90 times 25%. As you can see, that's my 22.5% here. So again, it's just all completely bugged, and you don't know what the freaking reality is, because these Blizzard tooltips are just complete bullshit, right? So this is this had been the problem with the vulnerable as well. So this is a multiplicative damage bonus, but for whatever reason, it gets counted as multiplicative for this key passive. So it looks like this basically counts as 90% additive burning damage for the tooltip. Maybe it is even additive. I don't freaking know what Burning Instinct does. My suspicion is maybe Burning Instinct does just additive damage, and then the additive burning damage gets calculated to that multiplier or whatever. It is just mind-blowing, like, that everything in this freaking game is just random. Like, it's all freaking random. So it might be that this whole Burning Instinct node is just additive damage and not multiplicative damage. Which, I mean, we can probably find out that very easily by just hitting this dummy here. Or, as you can see, right now, if I go from here, we hit for like 22 million, right? 25 now. So it was like 25 before it got frozen. And if we now, on our Paragon, remove this, see what we're gonna hit for. So yeah, so this is definitely multiplicative, right? So we just hit for like 10 million tops now. So definitely this node is multiplicative. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But for whatever reason, the tooltip is using this as additive damage. And if you now put together with the torch glyph, and we calculate it, so my torch glyph gives 207.3, and my tooltip here is 180.9, right? So let's do 207.3 times 0.25. That's 51. And then we do this times the other increase we had there, which was, what was it? 90%, right? So 90%. No, it doesn't even work. I think we need to take 207.3 plus times 1.9. That's like the 90%. So we get to 393. And now we add like the plus 90, which is the bugged amount. So we get to like the bugged tooltip number. And now we take this times 0.25. And now we add like 120. So this is the number, right? 120.9. This is just rounding issues, 120.9. This exactly adds up with these 60%. So this is the same bugs which have been in the tooltips in this game since the very beginning. So basically, bug number 1 is the additive, the multiplicative damage gets added as additive damage to the tooltip calculations. For whatever reason, nobody knows why, but that's what happens. And the second one is the tooltip is just all messed up and bugged. So, but yeah, like nothing you can really do about it. But I was gonna look at maybe playing Inferno. Because Inferno also does burning damage. So this might be better than just playing Familiar. I wanna just try this on time. Just do it with like 3 ranks for now. That's good enough for me. Actually, yeah, let's just try this. So yeah, basically all the tooltips are completely bugged as they have always been. It's an absolute mess. Out of control. But the build seems to be doing damage. So let's just go for like a tier 90 now and see what it does. And by maxing out the torch glyph, you will significantly increase your multiplier there, right? So now we just remove the familiar. Instead we're gonna use Inferno here. Wait, I have to get the damage shield guy down. Where's the second one? What is this build called? I have a link in the description. I was just typing something while I was dying. But yeah, tier 90 seems to be already too rough for this. I mean, it's actually not too rough, but it's rough. But I haven't this build done yet, right? So I'm still figuring this out. So I have like a version in the guide which is not the correct version, and this might be you know, I still have to try this with Flamescar. But I think I'm relatively close to getting this to a working state at least. And but yeah, so this is tier 90. This seems... So this is possible. So in this build you basically want to make pulls, right? So you want to go like this and pull like the mobs from everywhere. Pull, pull, pull. Because this, you have like solid AoE with this. And then you basically just pull them all into a big pack. And if you fix your survivability in this build, you're not going to have any issues clearing. Unfortunately, I didn't fix my survivability in this build yet. Where's the second protection guy? I don't even see him. Oh, there's right in the middle. So I think maybe with Flames Scar wanted focus and the extra cooldown reduction, it might be nice. But you can definitely basically make a large pulse with this build. And as soon as mobs are frozen, they also take like a good amount of damage. I mean, I have 9 ranks in Worms. I just feel like it doesn't really work so good in this. I mean, I could get 3 more ranks, definitely. But I just don't have the amulets right now to do that. But I feel like I have decent amount of ranks already. My problem is rather getting hit by crowd control, because I don't have permanent ice armor. That's right now what's kind of killing me. As long as I'm unstoppable, I don't really have the issues, but when I get crowd controlled, I have like problems. Because this one should be like infinite health regeneration basically. But I also didn't like fix my defenses yet, and I'm missing also like health. I think I might not even have health on my 200 weapon at this point. I basically have like I think fire damage over time on there or something like that. Wait, it has max life. But yeah, no greater affixes and stuff like that, so you can definitely get a good amount of extra survivability in this. Yeah, Turael is like out of the game. Nobody plays it. And you know, in this situations, you might even be using Fireball enchant, but I don't think so. This damage is definitely not bad, but you just have to be careful if you're like sitting in the poison pools. Is like the main damage I'm taking is like these elemental ground effects. But if you have the mobs in the right spot where you can shotgun them, then it's actually pretty good. So I think this will be like able to clear like tier 95 or something like that once it's figured out. Maybe it's gonna do more with the Flame Scar, I have to check. Yeah, turrets, nobody needs survivability anymore. You get so much survivability in Paragon board. I honestly don't think Inferno is doing anything in this build. I think the Familiar was just much better. Gives you like 10% more damage. Familiar or Hydra, but Familiar is probably better for the 10%. Also, I don't know if the Dark Shroud is really needed, but I really cannot. I mean, I could also go for Bulwark, but I'm not really getting anything of Barrier other than survivability, so I have no damage bonus while I have Barrier or something like that. Obviously, you could also do Incinerate enchantment. Yeah, the damage is alright for tier 90 with my level 70 unoptimized glyph and stuff like that. No, I don't try Meteor. It's the changes to Meteor are like vastly irrelevant. Because Meteor does no damage, and you know, yeah, you maybe get like 20 or 30% more Meteors out of Meteor, and you know, 20 or 30% of 0 is still gonna be 0. Same with Hydra. Hydra does no damage, so getting 50% more damage out of no damage is still gonna be no damage. It's gonna be great for leveling to have Hydra with an extra 50% damage. But besides that, there's not really gonna be anything significant there. The lucky hit freeze is freaking bad with Inferno. Like, Inferno lucky hit is really bad. I might want to change this to Spirit Wolves instead of Dark Shroud. I feel like I'm taking so many hits. I still have always Dark Shroud, probably. Not sure if it's required. Yeah, Inferno is definitely a complete waste in this build. Just gonna get the familiar much better. But the beams should just be significantly larger. Like, it's so hard to hit stuff with these beams. So overall, like the design of the skill doesn't feel that great. You don't really hit anything. The angle is also terrible. Incinerate size should not just like you know, increase the length of the middle beam. It should just make them wider so you can actually hit more stuff. But I just want to see how I will deal with the tier 90 boss. I know I'm gonna be way too slow. Also, like, this enemies explode for like extra burning damage. I do not really know how that actually works. But again, like, this is definitely not a build which will go into like meta at all, because it's just not fluent enough. But maybe, you know, there's some bugged aspects. Maybe changing the aspects around from one item to another. Maybe going for Flame Scar with like maximum Incinerate ranks. Might get more out of this. I guess, you know, 16 ranks is quite decent. Oh. That was fast. Not too bad. Yeah, this is like a horrible boss, obviously, for this build. Because you basically get forced to move by these little tornadoes on the ground. But, I mean, this would have been like 2 minutes for a tier 90 boss. With one of the worst bosses probably for this build. And like also like probably the worst shadow clones for this build because all of them force me to move. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean it's probably gonna be good. I mean, I have to test it. Because you lose out basically on this 180% multiplier here, right? This is fairly significant. But I guess I have to try it. It's definitely gonna make the gameplay much more fluent, right? Because wanted focus is generally just faster. But yeah, I don't have a flame scar right now. But I try to trade for one. Also, I don't know, like, switching these, probably this one is best on your amulet. Probably it's even better if you put this one here on your stuff, because it might double dip with your multipliers. It's a little bit hard to know which one is actually better, this one here or this one here, because this one also might not work, right? This is new, so this might not work. It all has to be tested at the dummies, basically what does damage, what does not damage, so it takes like a while. But yeah, so at this point, for example, because right now I'm playing Enchantment Master, and this board basically doesn't give me anything, right? So I don't need this non-physical damage. I don't need this armor here. I don't need this note, right? So this is technically not a good board for this build. A much better board would probably be Elemental Summoner to get the Conjuration cooldown. Because you still have to pump your Conjurations. Like, your damage comes from Conjurations. At least, like, a significant part. And, you know, it might be even possible to play this with a Conjuration focus. Not sure, though. Because you need a good amount of attack speed to do that. But, I mean, definitely, I have to figure it out. Because most of the builds just basically work better with Conjuration focus. And, I mean, we don't know how much damage these do, right? So, I mean, maybe it's interesting to see, you know, how much damage doesn't Hydra actually do with, like, the burning stuff. Would be good to know, because... But yeah, exactly. My stuff only has like 70% chance for deal double damage. But again, you don't even know if that deal double damage works, right? It's just an assumption. It might just not work. Like, most of the effects in this game, in like niche builds, have not been figured out. Like, they have not been tested, and they might just not work at all. So you always have to assume that the build might not work. So let's see how much Hydra does by itself, right? So again, it's like 500k, right? Even if you put a second one here. So I guess it's fair to assume that this is like not even 1/100th of my damage, which Hydra does for burning. So you can see how irrelevant these are. I know it's just 5 ranks, but you know every rank just gives 2% extra damage. So it's really freaking bad. And same is gonna be with the familiar here, right? I know they keep buffing these spells. If we just put 5 points into this, right, and you just see how much damage this is gonna do. Like 50k. Like what is this even, right? So how can a spell get like a you just see the relevancy of these spells. They just don't do anything. Like literally nothing. It's not like, you know, they could need like a 20, 30, 40, 50% buff. They literally have no effect. Like this familiar damage is absolutely 0. Right? So for whatever reason, these spells just don't work. I don't know what their tooltips say. It says it deals like 60k burning damage. Well, it actually doesn't, right? It deals no burning damage. As you can see, like it ticks for like 7k. These spells just don't work, right? And maybe these are not multiplied by your stats because, you know, if I channel like 1 second of Incinerate, I'm already like millions, right? Like 1 tick of Incinerate already does 1 million. And 3 familiars in their whole lifetime. This is actually still... as you can see, we are talking thousands, right? These 57k hits, that's the familiar hits. So we're talking about thousands of burning damage these do. So really, I don't know what's wrong with these spells, but they just don't work at all. They do literally nothing. Right? So it doesn't... Even like, if like 300k times 3, right? It would be 1 million. 1 million burning damage over 4 seconds. Does this look like 1 million to you? And same thing with like stuff like Firebolt Enchant, right? So Firebolt Enchant is supposed to add 125k burning damage over 8 seconds. Right? So let's add a Firebolt Enchant. And do this again. Guess what? It basically doubled. Right? But so all these effects have like so little of an impact. They are absolutely irrelevant. And if I now put Hydra with Firebolt Enchant, right? You would see this will tick a little bit higher, right? So we reached like 1 million last time. As you can see, we reached like a little bit more, 1.1, 1.2 million. But yeah, so you can basically ignore these spells. The only reason for them to exist is to boost Conjuration Mastery, and that's it. They have no impact whatsoever. And it's really sad that it is like that, but that's just the story with these spells. I don't know if they're not working properly or whatever is wrong with those spells. I cannot freaking tell, but they basically don't do anything. And if you look at the Inferno tooltip right now, right, it says it deals like 5 million damage. Because obviously this is running through multipliers. But maybe the Conjuration burning damage just doesn't work with this or whatever. Like let's just disable this, right, and try the Hydra again and see if we see a significant difference here. Do 2 Hydras. See, so it seems to work, right? Now they do like 400k. And, well, it doesn't fully work, right? So now they do like 400k with the Firebolt Enchant. Let's take that off. So they go up to like 350, 360, 400k. And this is supposed to be 180%. Yeah, so that kind of makes sense, right? 180%. So that's like 1 million. So the multiplier seems... So the tooltip seems to be roughly accurate. Now also Fireball Enchanted, same story. It doesn't do anything. I already tried it. It has no effect whatsoever. So really, these things only have effect because there are certain bugs in the game which make them work. But by itself, skill damage is not existent. The same if you look at the Fireball burning part, right? So this is supposed to be, if you skill Fireball now, and you do the 10% burning damage, right? So this is supposed to do 76k burning damage. So does this look like 76k to you? Actually, this might be 76k if you add them all together. This is probably even accurate for the Fireball. But the relevancy is just not there, right? So even if you now spam Fireballs, as you can see, yeah, it goes up to like 100k burning damage. But 100k is just absolutely nothing. So all these effects, you can just ignore them altogether. And now if you just compare it to like this Incinerate, which goes now to 150 million or whatever. Which is, it's just so much, like it's extremely strongly buffed by the new aspects, by the skill ranks. And that's the good thing about Incinerate. Like, the skill ranks on Incinerate actually have, like, huge impact, right? Every skill rank on Incinerate, as you can see, it does, like, what is this, like 5% damage. So it's 12% weapon damage. Actually, every rank of Incinerate does 12% extra weapon damage. So that's actually fairly impactful. If you do a Fireball, like, every rank does 7. If you do a Hydra, every rank gives you, like, 1% extra weapon damage, I think. 2%. But yeah, so that's the story with Incinerate. I still like surprised. I think it still works like fairly well so far. And I still have to figure it out how it works with the Flame Scar and the extra ranks. And then see what we can make for a build of it. But I kind of like the Dark Shroud and the Vortex combo I have here right now. Yeah, I mean, you don't know when and what the circumstances and stuff were, right? So, you always get like random damage spikes. But I think you can get it to 25 billion. I mean, I was getting like 6 billion, 7 billion procs already. It always depends a little bit. But again, you know, if there's one proc which is doing like 10 billion, you know, it might be like a different story. So I cannot tell you at this point. But, you know, a lot of these videos just show either other variants of the game or the damage is coming from somewhere else. There's always like different story. He might be using Firebolt as well, you know. I cannot tell you at this point. But I think this can easily go to like 20 or more billion. I still haven't figured it out yet. Also, you know, you need to have like proper passives, right? I have like terrible passives. Like I have Inner Flames, which is horrible. And if you like spam like all conjurations and all damage bonuses, like it gets fairly high. It also depends on the boss dummy, right? So this is an unstaggered boss right now. So if you use an elite, and let's say you use multiples, right? And then we put our ice blades back on. And our familiar here. And now we just, you know, spam everything. And see how high it actually ticks if we are like in a kind of strong enchantment here. Teleport I need. So if you're like in a high density scenario here, just see how far this stacks. So there's 1 billion. I think I have to get right on top of this. 2 billion, 3 billion. Four, 4.5, 5. So, and this is like without any optimization, right? I can already hit like for 5 billions here. So there's definitely much room for improvement still. You know, Flamescar might just straight up double it. But without doing anything, and I think I'm not even hitting him with all the 3 beams here. The best ones I had here was like 6 point something. It always also depends if, you know, why the mobs are frozen. That guy probably was using control glyph and stuff like that, right? And, you know, I'm usually not playing builds with using control glyphs. So by putting on like suboptimal glyphs, you can obviously reach much higher values here, right? So that's always like a possibility. Like by just adding control glyph, you could probably you would get like another 20-25%ish, stuff like that. So definitely possible to reach like much higher numbers with this. Yeah, that's the same I have. But control, again, I would never use control. Because control doesn't work on a boss, so it's something I would never use. But yeah, I'm still figuring this out, so I literally just started playing this today. So anyway, I will be why would you use Devouring Blaze? Devouring Blaze does nothing on burning. Devouring Blaze only increases crit damage, so it really has no effect on burning damage whatsoever. Also, it might be like stacking of different abilities, right? You could also like put ranks into Firewall and stuff like that. You could put mastery skills on your boots, so I think this will also like add a significant amount of damage if you just max out your Firewall and max out this passive here and stuff like that. So that might actually also do like quite a bit. And again, yeah, doubling the skill ranks on Incinerate with Flamescar might do a lot. Not sure, I have to try it out. But anyway, so I'm done for today. So thanks for watching, and I figure out this build and then probably make a video about it. So thanks for watching.